Hello, 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 everyone. This is Totally Woman, the podcast. Yes, and this is season 3. This is episode 1. I am Rosemarie Crosdale, your host. I want to thank you for joining me. I am a registered nurse. I'm also a adult gerontology nurse practitioner. And on this episode, listen, we are going to be just talking about the big topic, right? It's the topic out there that I started experiencing without even realizing that I was actually in it. So, episode 1, ladies, we're delving right into it. It's all about perimenopause and menopause, right? The big P and the big M, if we can even refer to it like that. We are going to be discussing the advantages, disadvantages, describing what it is, just talking about, everything that, you're experiencing on this episode with perimenopause. So please join me as we delve into this episode. We are back and we are just talking about so many things, right? But right now, at this stage in my life, I find myself where so many of us, so many of my friends, the big talk out there, it's perimenopause, it's menopause, and, that's where we are. And I am so happy. I am so happy. It really warms my soul that so many women on so many different platforms, the big Miss Oprah Winfrey, Miss O has done a whole series. Like she's talking about menopause, she's talking about perimenopause. They're giving us insights about it. And I feel a lot of times, as Black women, we don't talk enough about these things. We don't know some of the signs and symptoms. We don't talk about the big change, right? The change that our bodies are going through. It can be so overwhelming. And I just want to say that I thought I was still in perimenopause, but here I am finding myself in actual, in the height of menopause and the hot flashes, the brain fog. These are things that I am dealing with, the different moods and stuff like that. And my friends, people of, in my age group, this is where we find ourselves right now. And I just want to say a big shout out to women who are willing to share their symptoms, share their journey, especially Black and brown women, to let other women know that this menopause journey, perimenopause, whatever state you find yourself in, it's not easy. And it's something that the transition, it can be very, very overwhelming because sometimes, like we said, it's like, we don't know what to expect. Our bodies are telling us one thing, our minds are telling us another thing. One minute we're hot, the next minute we're cold, the night sweats. Oh my God. You laugh a little bit of laughter and then little things are dribbling that normally wouldn't be dribbling. And thank God for the always protection. I mean, I'm not, always is not like a sponsor or anything, but, always, if you know, you know. Yeah, yeah. Always a little panty liner or something like that. Because nowadays, when you're in menopause and perimenopause, a little laughter can cause a little, yes, some kind of a little leakage or something like that. But, ladies, I'm here to talk about it. I'm here to find out how your experiences are going. And I know it's not easy. It's like, hitting puberty, but in adulthood, so that transition can be, it can take place in so many different shapes and so many different forms. But like I said, I just want to, shout out the women who are actually putting emphasis on it and sharing their stories with other women and sharing so that you know that you're not alone. And some of the symptoms and some of the things that you're experiencing, other women are going through this also. So when we talk about menopause, just let's just give some definition, in terms of menopause. So when we talk about menopause, you know that you're in menopause when you haven't had an actual cycle, and I mean a menstrual cycle, in over a year, right? So you have an absence of a period for over a year. And this is how you know that you're actually in active menopause. Perimenopause, so you're not there yet. You still have a cycle, but sometimes that cycle, it could be a regular cycle, but now it could be irregular. And understand, ladies, that during this phase, if you're still sexually active, some women have become pregnant during this perimenopause phase because your body will tell you, okay, you're no longer having a period, because sometimes this period can be delayed up to months in advance, right? You may have a period for 2 months. Here it comes again, and then afterwards there's no period again, right? But your cycle is still, you still have an active cycle. So you can still get pregnant during this phase. And a lot of people, I think it happened also to my grandmother. She called it her change of life baby because that's what happened to her. And then right after that, she ended up going into actual full menopause. And sometimes menopausal symptoms, they can be brought on by, medications. It can be brought on also by you experiencing, if someone had issues with fibroids or different things, a woman who may have had a hysterectomy, she may have just gone right into menopause because of a hysterectomy. Some medications, I mean, I don't know, sometimes there's medications like Lupron, which I don't think it's used as much anymore like that. But Lupron was one of those medications that would help with women who had issues with fibroids. And what it would do is that it would decrease your estrogen production. And because of that, you would have some symptoms of menopause, like the hot flashes and stuff like that. So some of these symptoms for menopause can be brought on in different ways. But it's just a matter of knowing what stage you are. And sometimes it's very hard to differentiate, right? Am I in perimenopause or am I in menopause? And I think the biggest takeaway from this is to understand that if you're still in perimenopause, then you sometimes are still having your cycle, right? But if you're actually in menopause, then there is no cycle, right? Your cycle has been more than a year that you have not have a period, so you know that you're in the actual menopause. And menopause usually can happen anywhere from around, some women may go from like 50, 52. I'm 52 right now, gonna be 53. So women sometimes, and I think it's probably hit me now, and I've realized that it's probably happened to me, maybe probably in the last 3 years or so. So sometimes you don't even realize the stage that you are in, right? Because like I said, it can just come on you suddenly and stuff like that. And a lot of times, people talk about different medications and different things that are out there that are available. And sometimes there are things that are available. And a lot of times, I feel like sometimes we are discouraged, like if we talk about like even hormone replacement therapy, and we're going to talk about that on a different episode, but hormone replacement therapy can be very beneficial. I know when Oprah had her talk and her special where they were talking about some of the issues with menopause, hormone replacement therapy was something that definitely came up in that talk. I don't know if a lot of you were privy to it or a lot of you saw it, but that was one of the things that we talk about. And sometimes as Black women, Black and brown women, we're discouraged because we're told if we take hormone replacement therapy, then we're going to get cancer and different things like that. So sometimes, we just consider ourselves like burden bearers and that we should suffer through these things. But there's help for us, right? You don't have to suffer. You don't have to dread this on your own because this is a new phase that you're entering in, right? And there are things out there. There are different remedies. There are people that are available to support you if you need support, because sometimes you go through the different disorders. Your mood changes. Sometimes you may feel depressed, you feel discouraged for whatever reasons. And these are things that are very normal to happen to you while you're entering into these phases or you're going through these phases, right? But understand that there is support for you. Another thing that I want to also encourage you to do, ladies, talk to your GYN and make sure that you have that comfort level with your GYN where you feel comfortable in talking to them about, the changes that your body is going through without feeling, like you're being body shamed or you're not being taken seriously. Because a lot of times, when we talk about the different symptoms that we're experiencing, some doctors can, they may minimize your symptoms or they minimize, the way that you're feeling. And if you do feel that way, if you do feel that you're not comfortable, probably with the person that you are with, and I know, in this day and age, like dealing with insurance companies and different things like that can be really, really, that can be difficult, just navigating your way through and then what is covered versus what not is covered. But no topic should be too taboo or for you to feel like uncomfortable to discuss with your doctor. This is the person that you should feel comfortable letting them know that before I wasn't feeling this way and now that I'm feeling this way, and I'm a little bit concerned about it. It can be a little bit overwhelming. Sometimes you may need to seek help if you need to talk to a therapist or something, different medications that you can be taking, medications that are there that are available. And as we go along, we're going to talk about some of these things as well during this season and to talk about some of that and to get some insights like from the real professionals. I am a nurse practitioner. Yes, I do work, with women's health to a certain degree, but I always make it my duty because this is my passion. Our bodies are amazing, right? Our bodies are amazing, just our entire genetic makeup. And this is a passion of mine where I just enjoy talking to women about different issues that we are facing. And this is one of them. This is that transition period where, a lot of us are going through and experiencing right now. And, it can be very daunting, right? Because before you weren't feeling this way, but now, you're noticing it, they're visible. And for those of us, some of you are in relationships, you're married. I know Miss Tabitha Brown, she's another one who has been very vocal, in talking about some of the experiences that she had with perimenopause. She will say like peri, and she made a little, joke out of it, now and again and stuff like that. But these are women that are sharing their stories and letting you feel that the stuff that you're going through, it's normal. It's normal. Some things can be abnormal, right? And we're gonna go and delve into some of those stuff that what should you be looking out for? What should you be really concerned with? Because as your body go through these changes and your mind is also trying to catch up to what is happening to you, like I said, it can be very daunting. So sometimes these things can cause you to feel depressed. Your mood may change. During this stage, you may need some guidance. And the doctors, your GYN doctor, your primary doctor, these are people that can provide guidelines and that can help you. Even just talking to other women and other women sharing their stories, you can find out that some of what I'm going through is normal. And you don't have to feel like, oh my God, this is so, the way I'm feeling like I'm so like, oh my God, why am I feeling like this? And you drive yourself crazy. But some of these are normal phenomena. Like I said, some things may not be normal, and we'll go into some of the stuff that are not normal, especially, if you are actively in menopause and then all of a sudden you start now to develop bleeding after being in menopause, then those are things that we can be a little bit concerned about because now it could be an issue, especially if you've not had a hysterectomy. It could be where, you may have ovarian cancer. You may not, but I'm saying that that is also something that can happen postmenopausal is what we would term that, right? It would be postmenopausal symptoms. And a postmenopausal symptom would be having bleeding after you have been in menopause. So therefore, you've had no period, and here now you come maybe 3, 4 years later and you're having a cycle. That would be something as a woman that I would want you to be concerned about. So there are certain things that you are going to be a little bit concerned about, right? I don't want you to be nervous and to be scared, but we're here to just navigate our way through this phenomena that we're experiencing right now. The phenomena of perimenopause and menopause, right? We're at this different stage of our life, right? I call it late puberty, but it's not late puberty, right? Now, this is a heightened a heightened phase of puberty called menopause and perimenopause. So, ladies, I am here for it. I am here to support you through it. I'm here to guide you. I'm here to talk to you and to just navigate our way, to do my research and to get the professionals so that we can be talking about the different changes that we're going through. Because I'm dealing with it myself. And listen, some days you're like, there are days when I have my glasses on and I don't even realize that I'm like looking for my glasses, right? So in that case, the brain fog is just like, okay, you're wearing your glasses, right? To do. Where do you now? I have them on a chain because it's like, so now I can keep it on, especially when I'm at work and I'm thinking like maybe I lost it in the patient's bed or something like that. So these are different things that sometimes, you just have to laugh about it. But this is just a normal part of aging, and we're aging gracefully, right? But as we transition into this period, I just want to be there to support you, to guide you, to let you know that whatever you're going through, yes, some of it is normal. Sometimes if you get yourself in that little funk where you're staying there and you're noticing that it's probably lingering for too long, you may need to seek help. Ladies, you don't have to suffer. Help is available. It's just a matter of talking to the people that you need to talk to. Like I said, talk to your GYN, talk to your primary doctor. And if you don't feel comfortable with your doctor, get referrals, talk to other women, check out the reviews, check stuff like that, and if you don't have that comfort level, because that makes a big, big difference, because you're not going to want to share with your doctor if you're not at that comfort level as well. Okay. So, ladies, we don't have to be burden bearers. We don't have to, suffer through these things for years. Sometimes we're suffering. Some of us are out there, we're suffering with fibroids, uterine fibroids, when there are, certain things that we can do to alleviate some of the symptoms and stuff that we're having. And some of these things are, not as invasive. You may not require surgery. Some of them you may, but sometimes you may not. But it's just a matter of knowing where you are. And like I said, if you have it, doing your physical, getting your screenings, these are things that are very, very important as we navigate our way through this perimenopause and this menopause stage. Ladies, I am here for you. I just want to say a big thank you to all of you for just your constant support. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you, for just being there, for listening, and I'm so happy that I'm able to share and that we're able to talk about different things. And as we move through this season, this is going to be something that is going to be at the height of discussion, right? That we're going to be talking. So ladies, just always just know that I'm here to support you in whatever way I can. And as always, like we always say on Totally Woman, continue to inspire, continue to motivate, and let us continue to uplift each other. See you on the next episode. Totally Woman podcast is hosted by Rosemarie Crosdale and powered by Indie Creative Podcasts.